Hello my crafty friends, welcome back, it's Vicky here, and today I'm back into art journaling. I'm working on my square journal, as you can see, and I get a lot of questions about this one. So I have been testing it for months now, and we'll be able to tell you all about it next week, so stay tuned. Now, when I started this little square journal, I promised to myself that I would be using again and again only the same techniques, the same steps. So I'm following the same pattern for this page today. We'll be using rice paper as a start. Of course, I will be using products from my latest collection, Dewdrops, that is out and available now. But again, the steps are always the same. You have seen me recreating the same steps again and again with completely different results every time. So here is one more time, and hopefully they are going to inspire you. I am starting with rice paper, and you see sometimes I just tear it off, other times I just cut it out with my scissors. This time I used my paper trimmer to cut it down, and I'm going to stick it on my page with rice paper glue. Now, I like to apply rice paper glue without using any water. So you see my brush is pretty much dry. I'm going to apply a generous amount on my page. And then I like to go top to bottom. So I apply a little bit of glue there. Make sure that I have my pattern paper, my rice paper where I want it to be, and then I'm going to move all the way down. This is kind of a way that a tip that I can give you on how you can stay out of wrinkles. But to tell you the truth, sometimes wrinkles are good because they are going to give you texture. Now I'm going to cover the whole thing with rice paper glue as well. This is going to seal it down. And at the same time, it's going to make my surface non-porous. It does allow for many techniques to work nicely on top of that. Now this is a step where I like to add some white acrylic paint. Sometimes I just apply a wash with my brush. This time I'm going with my spatula. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to lose what's there. But at the same time, I don't want it to look as clean and perfect as it was in the beginning. So just adding some strokes with your spatula is going to get you a lovely look. At the same time, acrylic paint, white acrylic paint, doesn't cover up completely what is underneath. This layer is very thin, so you can still see what is under there. And I'm really happy with how it looks. I'm going to stop here and make sure that this layer of paint is completely dry. And it's time to do some stamping. I'm using my mixed media background stamp. This is a new stamp where I made sure that I included lots of designs that you can use again and again for your backgrounds. So I started with one of the text stamps. You will find there are two different ones in this stamp set, and I'm stamping with black permanent ink. I'm going to move on and combine another design. I'm debating whether I want to use the coffee stain or this circle stamp. I decided to go with this one. Now, for this one, just because it is super small, it is easier for me if I stick it on an acrylic block, while with the text stamp, it was easier to do it organically with my fingers, so I don't get the perfect impression. Now I switched to another one, again from the same stamp set, and this gives me kind of a ticket design. I'm going to mainly stamp it on the edges. And I'm really happy with how that background looks at the moment. Now I'm going to move on and do some stenciling. Now if you ask me, I have to admit that at this point I had no idea what the focal point is going to be. So I'm just playing and having fun with the rice paper and my technique one after another, the steps of the technique, without bothering at all or thinking at all of what is going to happen later on. So I'm just applying volume paste over this area, and I'm going to show you my lazy way of cleaning my stencils. Just some behind the scenes where I usually edit them out. So you see I'm just scraping the excess with my spatula and I'm just placing it back inside the jar. So now I'm making sure that this is completely dry, and I'm going to add some splatters. I'm using Aquacolor. This dries completely permanent, and at the same time it has a kind of a shine on it, so it is a really lovely touch on a journal. So let me leave that aside to dry, and in the meantime I'm going to play with my focal points. Now there are different qualities of focal points in my collection. Actually there are 3 different ones, and I'm going to explain a little bit the differences so that you can easily decide which ones are for you. So first of all, these are the ephemeras. So the ephemeras are self-adhesive, so you can peel off the backing and use them as a sticker. This is cardstock, and they have kind of a shimmer into them. Then there is a pack of die cuts. These are chipboard in weight, which means that they are great as focal points on top of albums or tags. They are nice and sturdy, and they are not stickers. And then the third one is the paper cutouts, where you can just pop them out. There are 4 pages of those in one pack, and you will find that they are printed front and back, so you can easily use them either way. Now this is going to save you lots of frustration if you don't like fuzzy cutting. It doesn't give you any white border all around at all, and this is paper weight, so it is exactly the same weight as the paper pads. Same quality, which means that these are completely matte and flat, which makes them perfect for art journaling. However, I want to show you some tips today. So if you do have the die cuts, you can definitely remove the backing, like I'm doing so here, which is going to make them really flat, just like paper. And then you see it is kind of shiny. That's not a problem if you don't want to have that shine on top of it. Just use rice paper glue. I'm going to demonstrate here on top of the birdhouse so you can see the difference. And then all I'm going to do is just apply it with my brush and just use my heat gun to make sure that it is dry. Now this is not completely dry yet, but in any case I hope that you can see that the shine is completely gone at the top part of the birdhouse. And this is the case with those ephemeras as well, where they do have kind of a shimmer on top of them. So I'm just trying to decide what I want to use as my focal point. I'm going to go with one of the ladies from the ephemera pack. I did make one with the other lady already. And I believe that all the girls that I have in my Dewdrops collection deserve a page of their own, so that's what I'm going for. I'm going to ink up the edges, and my sponge dabber has already brown ink, dye ink on top of it. I just like to do that because I don't want to see the white edge, and I find that if I do that it blends beautifully, it blends better with the rest of my designs. And then of course I do have a brown background, and I wasn't thinking what I was going to stick on top. So now that I have the girl and it's going to be all about snow, since he is holding a snowball, I decided to bring in the stencil where I have those icicles at the top, so that I can add a touch of frost, a touch of snow on my page. I am going to apply it at the top, and I will use my volume paste again, so back into stenciling, just because I decided finally what my focal point is going to be. Now, of course, I advise for you to always leave the paste to dry before you move on and do your next step. However, this is not always the case for me. Sometimes I'm too impatient and I just want to go ahead and do the next step. So my icicles are not dry at the moment. I'm going to stick down the lady at the bottom. And by mistake, I touched the icicles. So things happen like that all the time for me. But most of the time I just edit all those stupid things that I do out of the video. However, today I thought, okay, let's leave them so that everybody can see that I'm not perfect at all. Just because you see all the nice parts in the video after the editing doesn't mean that I am perfect at all. Trust me, I do mistakes all the time. Now, if you ask me, the page looks beautiful as it is. However, I want to embellish my lady a little bit more, to add some touches here and there. So for some reason I thought it would be fun if I stick a flower on top of her hat. Don't ask me why, it's my page, I just like to do things like that. It makes it look nice and cute. So I'm just going to stick it there. And I know that I will get the occasional comment that you shouldn't use flowers on a winter page. But let's be honest here, this is my page and I can do whatever makes me happy. That's what you should do with your page as well. Don't try to recreate reality, just have fun with whatever comes into your mind. Now I also grabbed some of my rub-ons and I think that this set matches perfectly with the design that I have. After all, I do have that pink flower on her hat, so I'm just going to cut out some of those flowers and stick them here and there. And I zoomed in for you so you can hopefully see what I'm doing. For this rub-on to work, just make sure that your background is completely dry. It's not going to transfer in wet surfaces. You can also layer those rub-ons, so you can add one on top of the other with no issues at all. And they go even over the volume paste, of course, if it is completely dry. Now I'm going to leave the video going so you can see what I'm doing as I play with the rub-ons. I try to add different elements here and there. Now you see I'm back to her hat because I wasn't satisfied with just one flower. I wanted a pine cone up there as well. I'm also going to use some of those dewdrops here and there. Now today I just woke up and as you see me working, I'm just going to talk a little bit about my whereabouts today. So I woke up early today and I wanted to make this video for you since it's Mixed Media Tuesday. But I'm not feeling very well. I don't know if you can tell from my voice. I think I'm kind of sick. And however, I just wanted to do the voiceover, do the editing and put it out for you guys. And hopefully I will be just staying in bed with my tablet tonight, reading all your comments and just relax, and hopefully I will feel a lot better by then. Now I grabbed another set of rub-ons and these are the snowflake ones. I'm going to use only the brown snowflakes just because I think they match better with my page and I don't want to bring any more blue. I think that her blue coat is enough and I love how it pops against everything else. So I'm just going to transfer those 3 snowflakes here and there. When you do enjoy my videos, don't forget to tap the like button as well as leave me a comment. Trust me, I read all the comments and take notes of what you want to see in the future from me. Now, as mentioned before, you can get rid of that shine if you don't want it. That's what I'm going to do for this page today, just to demonstrate that it is possible. So I'm just going to go over the girl with my rice paper glue. I'm going to use my heat gun to make sure that this is completely dry and it's going to look just like paper, no shine at all. So you do get the option, you can use it as it is with the shine, the shimmery on top of it, or just turn it into a completely matte ephemera. Now, I don't know what is going on with my steps today, maybe because I was feeling sick, I did all the steps wrong. So here I'm just going to add white splatters and I haven't even done my white gel pen or my black fine marker. So anyway, just bear with me here, I'm just going to add some splatters. The beauty of adding splatters over something that you have covered with the rice paper glue is that you can use a baby wipe and wipe off any splatters that you don't like. So here you see I had some that I didn't want on top of her face and it looks just fine. Now I'm grabbing my white gel pen and I'm going to add some lines, sketchy lines here and there. But again, don't do it the way I do it because you see my splatters are not dry at this stage. So I am at a risk of touching those splatters and making a mess. Now I need a quote. I always like to add quotes on my art journals, so I went to the 12 by 12 paper pad of Dewdrops and I'm going to go with Follow Your Dreams. So I'm just going to use my scissors to cut it out. I did fray the edges with my scissors and I also used a little bit of inking all around. I'm going to stick it down with my matte glue and then I will draw some sketchy lines along the lines here with my black pen, and then I'm also going to bring in my white gel pen as well. And this is where I realized I haven't done any black sketchy lines all around, so here I go. And since I have already added my white splatters previously, I'm just going to dab a little bit of acrylic paint along the bottom, just to give it that frosty look, and finish off the page. I'm really happy with how it looks, and I'm so happy with my new collection. You cannot believe how much I love Dewdrops. So anyway, I hope that you had fun today, that you got inspired. A full list of all the supplies that I used is down below in the description. Thank you all so much for watching today, and I hope you'll all have a lovely day.